Have you ever found yourself on the brink of death and discovered that life is actually much more than what we see? This is the story of Chase Schuyler Deo, a man who experienced the unthinkable and, after walking the line between life and the afterlife, returned not only with a powerful message, but also with a shocking gift from God. Before we reveal what happened to Chase, subscribe to our channel. Here, you will discover incredible stories that will make you reflect on the meaning of life and the power of faith. Born in Orlando, Florida, Chase had it all: a loving family, a strong sense of duty, and a military career that seemed destined for success. Adopted by his grandparents at birth, Chase grew up in a multicultural family, surrounded by brothers and sisters of different backgrounds who taught him the importance of love and diversity. His childhood was marked by challenges related to his identity, but also by a loving and supportive environment that helped him build a strong self-esteem. From a young age, Chase felt an inner calling to military service, a calling that seemed to run in his family. His grandfather and great-grandfather had served honorably, and so, at the age of 17, he decided to follow in their footsteps. He chose the Air Force, influenced in part by the advice of his father, who had served in the military and who wanted the best for him. During his service, Chase distinguished himself for his dedication and was assigned as an instructor in a pilot survival program, a crucial role that GLI allowed to prepare other military personnel to survive in emergency situations. This assignment made him proud. He felt he was truly contributing in a significant way. However, his career came to an abrupt end when a knee injury forced him to undergo surgery. Unfortunately, the operation was unsuccessful and Chase found himself faced with a painful reality. His 20-year dream of a life in the military was crumbling. This event threw him into a deep existential crisis, leaving him feeling lost and without direction. The hardest moment came when he began the process of his discharge from the service. Chase, who had always had a clear purpose in life, suddenly found himself without a plan, not knowing what he was going to do next. Fear of the future gripped him, and this uncertainty led to self-destructive behaviors, such as showing up late to work, almost tempting fate. It was during this time of confusion that something extraordinary happened. One morning, like any other, Chase woke up late for work. His worried supervisor decided to enter his dorm room, expecting to find him still asleep. But the reality was very different. Chase was lying unconscious on the floor. He was rushed to the base hospital, but the doctors could not explain why a young man in perfect physical condition was in such a condition. The situation quickly deteriorated, and what happened next was like something out of a movie. As doctors fought to save his life, Chase had an experience that would change him forever. He found himself floating outside of his body, watching the chaos unfold around him. A calm, reassuring voice spoke to him, promising him that everything would be okay. But when he turned to see who it was, there was no one. And that was when the incredible happened. He saw the flat monitor, the clear sign that his life was about to end. Chase began to travel toward a bright light, enveloped in a feeling of peace and indescribable love. He found himself in a beautiful garden, surrounded by flowers and plants of colors he had never seen before. There he met a figure who he immediately recognized as Jesus, even though he didn't look like he might be expected. Jesus smiled at him and showed him a version of himself as a child, reminding him of the joy and innocence he had lost over the years. This meeting was a reminder to live life with love, lightness, and laughter, despite the difficulties. During this experience, Chase felt a sense of total liberation. He felt light, as if all the burdens of his life had disappeared. The light that surrounded him was so intense and reassuring that he felt no fear. Every step he took in the garden seemed to bring him closer to a deeper understanding of life and its meaning. And as he looked at that blonde and happy child, he recognized in him the same old self, full of joy and carefreeness. This revelation struck him deeply, making him realize how much he had missed over the years, worrying about the future and forgetting to live in the present. Jesus, with his reassuring presence, gave him a powerful message. Life is not just about successes and failures, but moments of love, joy, and sharing. This teaching radically changed the way Chase saw his life. He understood that it was time to abandon his fears and live each day with gratitude and love. Chase suddenly found himself back in his body, but he was no longer the same. His near-death experience had transformed him completely. He began to see life with new eyes, rediscovering joy in the little things and letting go of the fear that had gripped him. He decided to explore new passions such as dance, photography, and even comedy. He wanted to live each day with gratitude and a desire to share happiness with others. He joined a breakdancing club, started doing stand-up comedy, and took up photography, capturing the happy moments in people's lives. Each new activity represented a rebirth for him, a way to honor the second chance he had been given. However, his story does not end here. During a period of reflection and meditation, Chase began to feel a tingling in the palms of his hands, especially when he prayed to relieve the suffering of others. Over time, he noticed that these moments of intense prayer left visible marks on his palms, similar to stigmata. Although these signs initially frightened him, Chase realized that they were related to his attempt to absorb the pain of others. It was then that he realized that he could not carry the suffering of others, because each person has their own path to follow and their own lessons to learn. This awareness was reinforced by another mystical experience. While on a plane, he suddenly felt a strong and reassuring presence that he immediately recognized as that of Jesus. In that moment, he understood that his job was not to relieve everyone's pain, but to help people find their way, respecting their path and their right to live their own experiences. Jesus reminded him that he had to take care of himself in order to be truly of help to others. If you're understanding the message of this story, share it with those you love and subscribe to the channel. Your sharing helps us spread messages of hope and faith. Chase learned to balance his desire to help others with the need to allow them to live their own experiences. This realization led him to reflect deeply on his role in the world and the meaning of life itself. He decided to embrace his healing abilities as a gift, but with the awareness that he could not interfere too much in the lives of others. Today, Chase lives with a new awareness, dedicating himself to spreading positivity and living a life full of joy and gratitude. He firmly believes that the meaning of life lies in continuous learning and personal evolution, with the aim of leaving the world a better place for future generations. He decided to go back to school, studying alternative medicine and earning a degree in ministry, with the intention of combining science and spirituality to help others. Chase believes that by continuing to learn and grow, we can help make the world a better place, preparing future generations to live full and meaningful lives. His journey, which began in a small room in a military dormitory, led him to discover a universe of love, faith, and infinite possibilities. And today, through his story, he teaches us that even in the darkest moments, we can find the light that guides us, if only we are willing to look for it.